Um, so again, welcome to tonight's tutorial. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to show you how to create a gorgeous, soft, half up, half down style on reasonably short hair. And I'm working with the hair tonight. So the hair is just past the shoulder and it's quite fine. So what we're trying to do, the aim of tonight's tutorial is to show you how to work with shorter hair, but keep it looking long, even though you're going to curl the hair, and also how to make fine hair look thicker. So, first of all, the hair prep. I have been working with my Urban Sea Salt spray today. I haven't done any crimping in the hair today, but what I have done, I've really used a lot of product first of all. So if I were working on a client, I would have put a little bit of mousse at the root, or quite a lot of mousse at the root, and sprayed the salt spray through the mid-lengths and the ends and blow dried that into the hair. So you get that lovely volume and texture right at the very beginning. So it doesn't really matter when your client washes her hair, but the hair does need to be clean. So you don't want it kind of a couple of days old if the hair is remotely greasy. So it's a lot better to have the hair really kind of squeaky clean and put lots of product in it than to try and work with greasy hair when you're creating any kind of bridal hairstyle. I know it used to be said that, you need to have kind of almost dirty hair in order to get it to stay up, but really I would say it's much better to have, it's very difficult to work with greasy hair. So make sure the hair is clean. You don't want lots of leave-in products, serums or oils or anything like that. We almost want a little bit of dryness and kind of texture to the hair, which is what we get from the salt spray. There's also another great product called by L'Oreal called French Girl spray and French Girl hair. And this again is like a texturizing product that gives that lovely kind of saltiness to the hair and that nice texture to the hair. So you can use a little bit of that with your mousse or your salt spray and blow dry the hair really well, so you get lots of kind of texture in there. And then I have done some hair prep already on the head. We do have an online training course, and I am actually going to be filming tomorrow to create this style for the online course, where we'll go step by step from the beginning of the style right through to the end. So if any of you are bridal hairstylists or you'd like to be a bridal hairstylist, then you can join our online course, have a look at our online course and see what you think. Because on the course, we show everything in detail and close up, which it's not that easy to do when we're doing our live videos on YouTube. So if you do want more information, please join me on my online training course, which is a paid membership, but you get so much on there. So as I say, if you want to find out step by step right from the beginning how to create this style, then please join me have a look at our online bridal hair course. But let's get back to this style. So we've got different curling techniques that we can kind of draw upon when we're working with different hair types. And here I've used the traditional wind. So I've done a very soft curl just at the ends of the hair. So when you're working with short hair, when you curl the hair, it always goes so much shorter. So if you're already working with somebody who's got short hair, then you need to try and keep the length of the hair. We're not working with any extensions in tonight's style. So if you just manage to keep the curl, especially from the nape of the neck, if you just manage to keep the curl just at the ends of the hair, then you'll find you'll maintain the length, but you will still get that curl. And of course, when you get a curl, you get extra volume. So it helps to make the hair look thicker. So we're kind of working with the hair to give short hair a nice bit of bounce and a bit of curl, but to also work with fine hair to make it look thicker and fuller. So you'll notice we've got quite a few, when I've curled the hair, I've separated it into quite a few kind of smaller curls, so it gives the impression of volume and fullness. And then on the crown, I've worked a section at a time. No, just a tiny little bit of back combing, but no crimping. A little bit of back combing, I curled those sections and just started to create kind of a slice at a time, just kind of started to create these little piecey sections here. Now we have done that in previous tutorials here on YouTube, on a couple of tutorials I think, but as I say, we have all this footage on our online training course. So if you want to learn at home, then please join me on there. Now, I've got a few little bits down at the side here, and I've done a little twist already on the side there, and I'm going to twist this section of hair because you can kind of play around, and really it depends how much hair your client wants to have down. So maybe she's a little bit sensitive about her ears, so she might not want to pull all the hair back if she's anxious about the tips of her ears showing. So there are lots of things you need to think about when you're working with your bride. So on this side, I'm going to do 2 little twists. I'm going to bring this hair down. And then on the other side, I'm going to do 1 twist because it will give a different look. It's not a big change, but it's a slightly different look to the hair. And usually I think it's a good idea if you do something like this, maybe if you're doing a trial run, because then your client can get, can have kind of a couple of different ideas as to how she could have her hair just while you're creating the one style. So I've already created 1 twist in the hair here, and you might be able to see we've got a couple of pins in the hair kind of dotted around here. And essentially I've used these little pins just to help me maintain a little bit of separation in these sections here because I don't want it to look too smooth. Okay, so with this little bit, I might use as well a little bit of my creative texture cream. So this is a Goldwell product, and it's a structure cream. So it's kind of like, it's like a curl cream, but with a lot more hold. So we'll pop a link to the products into the box for you. So I'm going to create a little twist here. Now, I want this twist, you can see with this hair here above, the twist starts quite far forward. So in order to, if I bring the hair back and twist it, you can see we don't get any twist here. So in order to make sure we get a twist at the front, I need to kind of bring the hair forwards a little bit and twist. So this twist starts a little bit earlier. And then I can pull as I go along, just lift out those little twists in the hair. And then sometimes what I find helpful is, as we go along, if you hold the hair out all the way and twist it, you're kind of just guessing. It's a bit of a guesstimate as to exactly where you want the hair to be pulled out. Whereas I find if you pull the hair back a little bit and twist, then you can kind of get an idea, that's better, where the hair needs pulling out, because you'll be able to see where it's going to sit. That's it. So I'm kind of holding the hair with a little bit of tension here, but also with a little bit of softness so that the hair can actually be pulled loose. And then before you get to the end, what you can do is, let's just make sure I'm happy with this. I might just prop, using a little pin, just prop the hair in position as we go along, just so I know where it's going to sit. So I know that I'm happy where it's going to sit. And you can also see I have already, that's better, lovely. I've already curled a few little bits at the front here. So she's got a little bit of softness around her face. So, as I say, if you have any questions as we go through the tutorial, please just let me know. And if you have any styles that you'd like to learn, And just let me, again, just send us a, oops, dropping my hairpins. So if you have any styles that you'd like to learn, that you'd like me to show you, then please send us some pictures. I'm just using a bobby pin there to secure that in position at the back here. So it looks lovely and soft and gorgeous kind of coming back. So that would be one idea. You could, of course, do some little a braid if you liked, if your client wanted a kind of braid at the front here. And I might just curl these just a little bit more. So, you know, you can, that's it, let's just curl this side just so, sometimes I leave these bits till the end, but just so we've got, whilst I'm working on this side of the head whilst we're filming, that's better. Lovely. And then we'll turn around and come around to the other side. That's it. So now on this side, so this style is actually, it's quite a quick style once you've got once you've done the hair prep, which doesn't take too long for this particular style either, because it is literally, you know, you can blow dry the product into the hair and smooth out the cuticle as you blow dry. Just going to smooth the hair a little bit with my tangle teaser. And then instead of starting the pleat too far forwards, I'm going to kind of start the pleats a little bit further back for this one. That's it. And we'll just do this in one big twist, I think. And let's see what we think, whether we prefer it with one twist or two. Sometimes I find that if you do lots of small little sections when you're doing these, creating these kind of piecey styles, sometimes I find that it can look a bit too kind of messy and you lose the direction of the hair. So try not to be tempted to go for too many pieces. Now I am working with a mirror just off camera. So if you can see me looking over to the side, it's just because I'm just checking the style in the mirror. That's better. And you'll find that once you start working with the mirror, it kind of gives you an extra kind of dimension. So you can see the hair from different angles without actually having to step away from the hair. And it's definitely worth getting a mirror that you can take with you if you're a mobile hairstylist, because quite often you'll find if you're working in hotels, quite often the mirrors are in the wrong place or they're at the wrong height. That's it. And I'm just going to continue with this twist around the back here. So actually, I think I quite like the single twist coming back. And I'm continuing around the back here. Taking my twist all the way, so I've still got hold of the hair. And I'm still loosening at the back here. And I might just pop a little pin in there to prop it into place. That's it.
We have a question.
Great.
Have you used crimpers for this style?
I haven't crimped the hair for this style, no. And I think, you know, sometimes maybe if you're working with a bridesmaid, you know, if you're short of time perhaps, you might not have time to go through and crimp everybody's hair. So, and I mean, it can help if you crimp the hair, but it's by no means essential. But what it is essential are the products that you put into the hair. So if you're not going to be crimping the hair, I would suggest working very generously with your products. So with your mousse at the root, and usually I find it better to get a mousse that has a spray on it. So rather than putting a big kind of clump in your hand, if you get the spray mousse so you can direct it at the root of the hair section by section. And as you're working section by section, you can spray in your salt spray generously through the mid-lengths and ends, and then you can blow dry the hair. So it's up to you. You can put the product in and blow dry a section at a time. Or sometimes what I do is I'll do the back section, get the product in and blow dry it, do the crown section, get the product in and blow dry it, the sides and the front. And sometimes when I'm working on the front, if you do want to get root lift and volume, if you're not working with crimpers, but you are getting the texture into the hair, what you need to remember, and we do have some blow dry tutorials available, but you want to get into the habit of over directing the hair as you blow dry. So you don't want to kind of blow dry the hair kind of backwards, but you almost want to over direct it so you're pushing the hair forwards. And sometimes I even stand in front of my client so I can blow dry the hair, bring it over, direct it in this direction here, so that you're blow drying the hair and getting root lift and volume at the root. So you don't need to crimp as long as you get that product in there and you get lots of kind of texture, and you can get, as I say, you can get the root lift and the volume without crimping. So it's by no means essential. Now, once we're at the end here, we haven't finished at the back here because you can see this little bit of kind of dry looking hair. This practice head, the ends are a little bit split, and I think some of this hair she could do with a little trim maybe. So if you do have any of those ends, if they look a little bit longer, I would curl them so that they blend in with the curls that are tumbling down. But on this particular practice head, for this particular client, hair's a little bit too short to do that. So I'm going to smooth out the hair. I could use the tongs to smooth out that hair if I wanted to, but I'm just going to literally twist it up and pin it underneath.
We have another question. If your client has short hair, would you allow less time for the style?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't need as much time curling the hair and blow drying the hair. If she's got short, fine hair, then the time is spent getting the texture in the hair and blow drying it so you've got lots of root lift and lots of volume. So you might need a little bit of extra time to get that root lift in there, but it would still be quicker than working with somebody that's got long, thick, heavy hair. So certainly it would save you time for sure. So now we've kind of got our gorgeous style, and it does look like she's got lots of thick, luscious hair. But she's got quite fine hair and it's quite short. But the way we've worked it without any back combing is we're a tiny little bit at the root on the crown, the tiniest bit. But really it's not kind of solid. It's just kind of airy and light and gorgeous. But we do have lots of pins sticking out of the head. So what do we do with our pins? Well, these sections on top here, I'm just going to literally take them out. They've done their job. And the sections at the side, if you're working with little fine pins, you might need them again. This is a strong, heavy pin. And this one was used to prop this side up. So if I take it out, I can see if it's going to drop. It's not dropped, but if it had dropped a little bit, what I would do is come back in with a fine pin, put it in the same place and lift up that hair a little bit, and then slide the pin down into the hair. But you need to make sure when you put this in that the pin kind of runs let me just see if I can turn this head around. No, she's not going to move. It needs to kind of run up parallel to the direction the hair is running. So you don't want to put the pin across the hair. Let me just show you with the dark one, because I know it's not easy to see. We will be doing this close up for our online students, but you don't want to kind of put it across the hair. You need to make sure you put it kind of running parallel to the hair. So when it goes in, let me make sure I get it so I'm showing you properly. That's it. So it's running parallel to each strand of hair. So when it goes in, it gets hidden in the hair. So let's come around to the back now and see if we can push some of these in.
Question. What would you do if your client has a fringe but shows you pictures of styles that she likes without fringes?
That is a really good style, a really good question. Because quite often you'll get people showing you styles and their hair is kind of nothing like, it'll have a big sweeping fringe and she might have a short choppy fringe, or she's got a short choppy fringe and she's got a sweeping fringe and it shows a short choppy fringe. So really what you have to do is part of our job is managing people's expectations. So she could, as long, you know, if she's got long hair and she shows you a picture with a fringe, then she could always get a fringe cut into the hair. But if she hasn't, really what we're doing when we're working with hair, when we're creating bridal hairstyles, and this is a really good tip, I think, is you're not necessarily trying to exactly recreate the style in the picture, because you can be setting yourself a really difficult task if you do that. What we're aiming to do as bridal hairstylists is recreate that style, the idea of that style, but recreate it so it works on that particular client. And that means that the front of the hair may well be different to the picture, not just because her hair's cut differently because she's got a fringe or she hasn't got a fringe, but because her face shape is likely to be different to the person in the picture. Her parting might be different. You know, if it shows a lovely sweeping fringe with a deep part, if somebody's got a very strong direction of hair growth, when you try and move the part, then you get this, instead of it lying flat here, it will lift up and you'll get this root lift here. So you can't get that same sweeping fringe depending on the person's direction of the hair growth. And, you know, depending on, it also, you know, depends on whether she's got very fine hair at the temple. You might end up creating a side part and then it creates a very kind of, you can see all this fine hair here, so it doesn't suit her. So usually what I do is I try and, when I'm working with the front sections, I try and pull them away from the images that they've been looking at, and that's where the mirror comes in handy. So I pull them away from their phone, and I get them to look in the mirror and kind of say to them, you know, at this stage, what we're trying to do is get the front of the style, create something that works perfectly for them rather than for the person in the photograph. So yeah, don't be afraid to say to them, actually, you know what, I think we need to do something slightly different at the front and this will suit your face better. That's usually a diplomatic way of saying, you know, you don't need to say your ears are too big, so that won't look good on you. Don't say that. So or your face is too fat. So yeah, so don't say that. Just say, you know what, we're going to find a style that let's work together. We'll look in the mirror and we will find a style. We'll create a style at the front that looks perfect on you. So we're going to adapt it to the style at the front. So that is basically what we would do if somebody shows you a style that's that their hair, you know, that doesn't match their hair type or their haircut. So let's keep going. I can dress myself. That's a bit better. Okay, so I think we might be nearly there, except our accessories. Just popping these pins in. Yeah. So we've got two different kind of, we've got a soft, sweeping kind of one big chunky twist on this side. And on the other side, it's a bit more kind of detailed. I just created two twists, but you can see how different it looks. So it's always good to try different things when you do the trial. And then I'd make a note on my little wedding planner once I know exactly how she likes the hair. And some people might like it a little bit different. They might not necessarily want total symmetry. So sometimes she might want one side twisted with two twists and one with one. Probably not, but you never know. Let's pop a few accessories in. With some great questions today, though, guys. So, oh, that looks pretty. And the good thing about these accessories, I'm using these little accessories on a hairpin here. When I created the height here, I secured it with some bobby pins at the back. So you can literally slide these little accessories behind those bobby pins. If we need another one, maybe here actually would look pretty. And then they're really secure. But I think maybe here I can see here, just a little dip in the hair. It's almost like she needs something, an extra curl. Maybe that one would be better there. But so if you get any little dips in the hair, sometimes it's good to use your accessories, and I'm just going to come in here, kind of wind it around a little bit. That's it, to pick up some hair, and then slide it in. If she wants to go in, that's it. Don't know quite what it's hit. Ah, that's better. Sometimes it's just hitting another pin and it doesn't want to go in. Yeah. And there we've got a lovely little half up, half down style for short hair. Soft, relaxed, gorgeous, effortless looking. Soft bits down at the front, but again, you can adapt the front to suit your client. And let me show you this side again, which is really pretty. But thank you for joining me tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll get a notification when our next live tutorial is, which will be next week. But I hope you've enjoyed the style. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any other questions, please just let me know, and we will, send me a little message and I'll get back to you after the tutorial. And let me know if you've got any styles that you'd like to learn for future lessons. But take care, stay safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.